Presentation ceremony that we are going to have here on the cutting edge technology, rather explosive technology, that is artificial intelligence. And the entire world is extremely thrilled, very excited, and lots of debates are going on across the globe. Good number of people, they are literally supporting artificial intelligence, and a big segment of society is coming against the artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is a major revolution we are witnessing in the humankind. So therefore I decided to have this presentation and kind of debate here in this school, especially in 11th and 12th, to see what exactly you are thinking about artificial intelligence. So one set of students, they are going to speak in favor of AI. And my suggestion is, like, your presentation should be 5% data driven, and it should be precise, and it should directly hit the audience. And once you finish your presentation, don't forget to ask questions, if any, that is there in the minds of this audience. So thank you very much for coming to this wonderful presentation and debate ceremony here. I'm inviting Akanksha Shukla and Shiksha Singh to have the first round of presentation. Please welcome to Akanksha and Shiksha.
Everyone, I'm Akanksha Shukla and I'm Shiksha Singh, and we are here presenting our project that we made on artificial intelligence, a boost to humankind. Before actually entering the debate, let us know what actually artificial intelligence is. It is a simulation of human intelligence for some tasks which require specifically human intelligence. Okay, so next we go to the applications of artificial intelligence. As artificial intelligence has many applications, but some of them are for fraud detection, intelligent tutoring, and self-driving cars, and many more. So there are various applications of artificial intelligence, that is AI. Now we will look to some specific sector in which AI has given a boost to everything. The first sector which we are talking about is economy. The sector of economy, AI has been powerhouse to economy. It is predicted to add trillions in the global economy by this decade. So next we move to the most crucial part of our life, that is education sector. In the education sector, AI has played immense role and a powerful role, as each and every person have their own ability to learn, and AI helps them to learn. It is like a personalized tutor for us. So I think it is a very good for our education. Now in the sector of healthcare, AI has been playing a transformative role by offering solutions to diagnosis and treatment with accuracy and management. Whether it's been predicting cancers before humans can do, or it's been giving voice to unheard, AI has been playing a very immense positive role in the sector of healthcare. Now we look about some questions which are often raised about AI. The often raised question about AI is that AI is displacing the jobs, but I don't think it's a complete truth, because AI is not actually displacing the job, it is an augmentation to job, which means it helps us to keep ourselves moving, and it helps us to focus on various things rather than doing the same task every time. It helps us, it augmented the job sector, it doesn't displaces the job. Next. Now the second most raised question is that is AI really enslaving human? But we should know that AI is a tool and not a master. AI is controlled, programmed, and developed all by human. We humans have an oversight on AI, so it is not completely true that AI is enslaving humans. So the next could be that the ethics and the privacy of AI. You all say that AI has no privacy, AI has no ethics. I understood when you say this, but I think in the moving laws it shows that it won't be used.
So, good and bad is integral part of human civilization. Human civilization is always had and still is having good and bad both. For good we have rewards, for bad we are having the legal framework. So same things can be applied to the artificial intelligence. As I told you, like in software, we have the good software, useful software, and bad software, like viruses. To control viruses, we are having antivirus system plus legal framework as well. That is the only way you can control any virus. How can you control any? So your major concern is how to control illegality of artificial intelligence. That's what the question is. So one way is controlling something, protecting data integrity and all by using providing additional software mechanism. Or if you are having, so that is answer to the first part. Second answer to second part is like even AI is even after doing, even by doing the good things also, by learning the good data also, if AI model is designed in a way that it is doing, suggesting bad things for you, for that we shall have a legal framework. There is an algorithm that can decide what is good data, what is bad data. That is the beauty of AI, the model that we are training. It's not like AI is not about, what do you mean by AI doesn't know? It is all about the beauty of algorithm that you can check. It's all, AI is all about some set of programs written in high level language. So you can decide that what set of data could be good, what set of data could be bad. Don't worry, that is well. That is AI is not going to bad. It's all about if intentionally there is a model design. Only challenge is it's not like AI will start doing bad. It is all about if some intentionally bad model is designed and implemented. So for intentional design and implemented bad models, we can come up with a legal framework. Yeah. Next question.
So I am going to counterattack Mr. Jain's question. He said, if a patient dies, if a cancer patient dies because of wrong diagnosis of AI, what happens? Who is to blame? So first of all, you don't have any proof that a patient died because of AI wrong diagnosis. And second, everything is still in doctor and the chief supervisor's hand, in human's hand to decide whether it is wrong or right. AI only suggests, AI only enhances the judgment of humans. It doesn't give out pure result that it should be done. What I am saying is should be right. The final decision is still in human hands.
AI could be judgmental also, it's not like that. AI could be judgmental. But even just to counter check, there shall be a doctor who shall keep checking the judgment and who shall keep doing like most of the pathological reports, like the blood reports. Nobody is going and seeing the actual blood. There is auto analyzer, you push the blood and immediately you get the printed report. But that final report is just checked by pathologist. Similarly, it says CT scan, you will get the printed report. There shall be one radiologist who can simply go and check the report. That's it. But it is going to be wonderful too. Wonderful value add to the entire humankind, in my view. But the major challenge is still unanswered. Only one part that is still unanswered is job loss. Because the IT industry and the various intelligence, everyone, whenever it's like attacking something is very easy. So when you are going to criticize something, come up with the right data. Thank you. You must introduce who you are.
Hello everyone, my name is Alpha Pandey. I am teaching class 11 and I am here to present my argument against AI. As my seniors say before, that AI is helping us in our daily life, that it resolves our problems and all other, that it helps in medical sector, also it will increase economy, but at the same time it is raising concerns about job displacement
saying. Yeah.
Anyone want to ask?
So looks like she is saying that the Alanka's point is that we should limit the use of AI. So in nutshell, the crux of our presentation is that AI is good as long as we are limiting the use of AI. That's what you are saying, right? Is anyone having any question on that point, on that view?
So as he said about everything about ethics, displacement, everything, we have covered it all. In the presentation, we have covered everything that you asked, Alankrita, right? So I think we have covered everything what you said. I'm not saying that you are wrong, but I'm also not saying that you're right. I agree that we should minimize the use of AI, but we cannot replace it now because it's a change. It is a dynamic nature. It will consider talk about the smartphones. There's this, when the smartphones were ready to enter the market, do guys have any arguments for that? A lot of. But are we not using smartphones? We are using smartphones even in a better way. We are using smartphones. Today, smartphone helps us with our education, with everything. With everything, smartphone help us. Likewise, AI will also gonna help us. It's just the starting of the AI. Let's give some time to it, and then we will get purely educated by it. We will get aware of it. We will use it in a good way. Don't we will only gonna use it in that way. We will gonna use it in good way. When we will learn to use it, when we learn to how to manage it, how to control it, we can also conquer it. Okay.
As you said that AI, I think you are very optimistic, but I apologize to say that optimistic doesn't work.
Okay.
If we see from the ground reality, you can't deny that we are also using smartphone in a very directly, and more than you can think of. If we talk, if you see on social media, there are so many these days. And recently, a boy died in 2025. A boy died because of the AI. He attempted suicide, and so what would you say about it? You're only focusing on the
So you saying
positive
that
side.
he is, so your thing is that it's kind of bit complaint that you are overly optimistic, that she is overly optimistic, or right English word for overly optimism is Pollyanna. So one that okay, so you want to counter.
So first of all, her question was remained unanswered of Alankrita, that she said that AI is erasing our critical thinking. But what do we say that AI is doing hazardous and repetitive tasks every day, preserving time for human to think about that critical thinking. It's us who are not using it in a right way. It's your answer also that you say that the AI is being used in a wrong way. But I ask you, who is using it in a wrong way? Who is using it? It's us human. It's our mentality to use in a wrong way. What we can do is to teach and aware of the things which are optimistic. We know all that every invention or breakthrough have both advantages and disadvantages. But we as humans need to focus more on the advantage side and use betterment for mankind.
Basically, you are trying to say that we as a humans should only have positive sides. That's amazing.
Probably let me jump in and probably I will try satisfying your query. So the entire software, we cannot deny the importance of software in our life. We cannot deny the quality of life change we are witnessing due to software. But software is again having two sets. One is good software, another one is the bad software. And bad software is known as virus. So there are most of the software that we are seeing in our life, they are good software, and we are getting benefited from the bad software. Still, there are people who are creating and developing bad software viruses, and those viruses they are hacking the system. They are screwing things they are snatching your bank details, they are screwing the big data systems, they are screwing the big networks, and they are jeopardizing our integrity. So just because of that fear, or just because of that fact, shall we stop developing software? That is point number one. Second point, just early revolution, everything was controlled by humans. But now our intelligence is getting challenged by machine intelligence.
So as you said that we can't do the Blinkit business. I think that
AI is not related to Blinkit.
Blinkit is not an AI, that's internet.
I'm saying one facility, one service. Someone is delivering things to your doorstep, and someone is keeping you in his or her shop for long queue. You prefer to go to that shop, or you prefer to get delivered things on your doorstep with lesser price.
We are discussing on the AI and Amazon and Blinkit are not AI. So that we can't
No,
blame
this is
them.
analogy. Don't mix the things. Don't mix the things. It's analogy. And whenever you are discussing pros and cons, you have to give real life data, and these are the real life data. What I am saying is that you can so these specific AI question. What's your AI question?
Sir, who is going to be responsible if AI do any error like that? Sir, in China, AI just rejects people's job agreements on the basis of genders, and it's very dangerous.
So, do you think it is something related to AI, or it's something related to sharing the data and internet? It's something that is just limited to artificial intelligence, or it is, then don't share your data on the internet. Artificial intelligence is not the solution, the only solution that is reading the data from internet. There are bunch of solutions, the bunch of technologies, bunch of software solutions, they are reading the data from internet. So your concern should be that we should not share any data on internet. And then your concern should be we should not use online banking also. Because it is also, we are going to internet. For that, there is a legal framework. For that, we use data encryption. For that, we use the data security, data validation, data controlling mechanism, data controlling and validation algorithm. So now coming back to the same thing, there is big two major questions keep poking AI debate. One question is, artificial is going to eliminate jobs. Question is unanswered. In my view, question is unanswered. Definitely unanswered. To me, artificial intelligence is a real threat to human intelligence, and it is going to hit job market severely, in my view. Second question people keep asking is ethical issues are data integrity and stuff like that. Ethical issues and data integrity can be easily managed and controlled by coming up with a legal framework and by providing the legal controlling software. That's not big deal. The major challenge for AI in my view is job displacement. Do you have any other question?
Sir, as you said, that's like a self-driving car, and if it made an accident, who is responsible for that? And as well as that,
What happens? How many accidents you see on road? Hold on. I'm saying, how many accidents you see on roads? When I drive from Lucknow to this school almost alternate day, and I see 2-3 accidents daily. How many AI car-driven accidents you must have? You go and check how many AI car-driven incidents you could find on the internet. Yeah. So since AI is going, nothing was product. Perfection is illusion. Keep this fact in. There is nothing like perfection in the world. दुनिया में कुछ भी perfect. There is nothing like perfection is illusion. If you are expecting something 100% foolproof, you cannot get that. The life goes with probability. We are making decisions based on the probability. So probability shows that AI decisions are a lot better than human decisions. Yeah. That point.
who is responsible if AI is curing a cancer patient and it made a mistake and
Good question.
so अगर if AI made mistake in treating a cancer patient, who is responsible for that? If a doctor treats a person, we can just, if anything gone wrong, we can say that doctor has done it, but who are going to blame if the AI done that thing? And as I said, Radical who seem to blame that we can't blame AI that you have just taken a life of 2 or 3 people, and I don't think that this is.
He wants to say that it has not common.
Do you have any data? A single casualty?
In China, AI is rejected too many people's job on the basis of their.
In terms of respect, come to the main point. You are saying what is going to happen? Job is going to come. This is the job. There might be learning problem. Hold on. AI, don't think that artificial intelligence model, it keeps learning based on the available data. More data it will learn, it will, what else? It's all about learning. It's all about learning and predictions based on the learning. The better learning, the better prediction. Like humans, you have better learning, better prediction. Again, I am reiterating the fact. Don't expect 100% perfection from AI. You cannot expect 100% perfection in any system because perfection itself is illusion.
Sir, as you said that, so sir, means if AI is learned from the data and if data is unfair, who's going to be responsible for that? And if data is unfair, AI is going to be unfair as well.
That is all about AI algorithm to filter out the meaningless data and meaningful data. That is all about the beauty of AI algorithm. Anything else? Someone else? You go. You want to answer this question? Or? Okay. Any other point? Any other girl? You have just one question. Have a very vibrant debate on a very pertinent topic, and the topic is smartphones and social media. Do you think it's boon or it's bane for teenagers? And the topic is selected targeting you because you are teenagers. So it's very relevant topic for all of you. And our day-to-day life is heavily dominated by smartphones and social media. So I want to hear from you all whether you think it's going to be a boon, you thinking it's as a boon, or you thinking it as a bane. And before this second debate, we already had a very vibrant and very outstanding debate on artificial intelligence, boon or bane for humankind, probably a week and a half back. And that was an outstanding debate. In that, we have witnessed critical thinking, analytical abilities, and oratory skills of our 11th and 12th students. Today, we gathered here to have a very vibrant, very impressive, this is what I am expecting from you all, very vibrant, very impressive debate on smartphones and social media, boon or bane for teenagers. So first, I would like to invite class 10 students who are going to speak in favor of, you are going to speak in favor, right? You are going to speak in favor of our teenagers. So let us limit our time because we have to cover good number of students in this debate and this kind of presentation or debate. So first you finish your presentation, and after finishing your presentation, you should ask the audience whether they have any question or not. If they have any question, you need to address that question. So Arpit, now you need to call the first student who is going to initiate this debate. So I am handing over this mic to Arpit sir.
Hello students, myself Bhagat Singh. I would like to call Sujat Tiwari and Divyansh Pandey from class. Please come.
Be confident.
Hello everyone.
everyone, myself Utkarsh. I am a student of 10th standard. Today I am present here to something say about why mobile phone and social media are good for us. First of all, I would to say one great man said that our give a chance to our genius, do not oppose them, to enhance them. If they defeat, is your defeat. So I can start. Mobile phones are good for us because now that the internet can access through cell phones, they become a great source of information, entertainment, and educational purpose and even monetary transactions. Besides being a tool of immediate communication, mobile phones are now a safety tool as well thanks to advancement in technology. When our friend and family member was lost, they can track with the help of GPS, which is installed on their phone. Social media have many apps for educational purpose and entertainment purpose. They can download and educate with the help of apps. Thanks.
Any questions? Okay, looks like she has a question. Yeah. Say your name, then
Hello everyone, myself Shivani and I am a student of class 9. Without wasting time, just so I want to know how social media can help us in education.
So the question is very blunt question, very direct question, and question is like how you think that social media is benefiting us in the realm of education.
Social media helps in educational purpose with the help of this app Speed of Bloom and next toppers like
So he is basically saying that various apps are there and that can be used to strengthen your knowledge. Okay, that's it. Okay, next, please come. We have very limited time. Please limit your presentation hardly maximum 5 minutes.
Hello everyone, I am Sujat Tiwari from class 10. And
the objective of this entire debate is to promote critical thinking, analytical to strengthen your analytical abilities and to strengthen your collective skills. So let us first focus on this part, and the next session onwards we will get into more academic stuff in the next debate. So this is our initial set of debate we are having, and it is not going to be the final. This is the inception of the debate in this academic year, and you will be witnessing many more in the remaining part of the academic year. Yeah.
I want to say that he asked a question.
So you first proceed to the presentation. You have any presentation or you want to forward any question? Okay, you better present forward.
She asked the question how social media help in educational way. So I want to say that the books and the things that we got in high rate, in high cost, we can get it free on YouTube to read.
So he is basically saying that you can, the source of knowledge and source of data and source of information is now very simple with the help of social media. That's what you are thinking, right? What else? Anyone else who is next for presenting? Good.
My name is Aditi from campus study. First of all, we can use mobile in a limited way, and we don't waste your time, and we don't waste your time in long screen and long screen time.
Hello everyone, my name is Priyanshi Mishra from class 10. I am in favor of smartphones and social media. As he said that it is boring. No, it is not boring because it has
they lead you to addiction. That is the
It depends on you that how a person is using social media, and if a person has addiction on any app or social media, we can set limits on that particular app. We can set timers on that particular app if there is an addiction.
somebody else. Someone else will also join us. You come first.
Good morning, everyone. Respected teachers and all my students. I'm Shiva from next time studying in front of Professor express my view on this topic of social media. So, according to me, social media is very useful for us. We can get information, news, knowledge all over the country, and we can remain connected with our family and friends. We can learn and get education from social media. There are various types of platforms on social media. We can use social media as promoting and advertising.
Can somebody would somebody like to counter with us for the benefits part? Okay, come on.
Hello everyone, I am Patel from class 9. Somebody can know that how right and how long to see the advertisement.
Please go ahead.
Hello everyone, I am Sandra from class 9. I am against social media. Social media use the privacy as a trade-off.
Social media is using privacy as a trade-off. Trade-off is what? So basically they are infringing your privacy. They are infringing your privacy. They are breaking your privacy. Right?
It denies the addictions which while human beings.
Keep quiet, keep quiet. So she is saying it is infringing, it is basically interfering in your privacy. Hold on. It is interfering in your privacy, and it's also what was the second? It's also it may lead to addiction. Yeah. You want to comment?
Before using social media, we have to awareness of privacy and digital safety. Most of the apps allow the safety features like reporting and blocking. In Instagram, we can report the user if he posts any misinformation or wrong post.
But audience not knows and how we
What is he saying? But like most of the social media platforms they provide to control access to your account. So they are having various privilege levels. You can set the privilege levels, you can block the content, you can allow the content to on your hand. So by that way, you can control you can maintain your privacy. Addiction is something different. Addiction is to keep using some site, you may get addicted. That is something different. Yeah. You want to add something?
but all teenagers don't know how to prevent their privacy.
बाकी लोग भी आएंगे
ज़्यादा बड़ा फाइल नहीं
So why do you decide that why the parents giving phone to students? Sometime ago you said that the phone is the best source of education, and now you are saying that why the parents giving phone for study. What do you say?
The parents buy phone for studies. Why are you using other apps like Instagram, YouTube? You can use apps like PW Next Toppers and YouTube, but for only studies. Why are you using another apps like Snapchat and Instagram? We are teenagers. We are not enough to know what's right, what is right for us. What's right for us.
This is a mistake of his or her parent. This is a mistake of his or her parent.
As you are saying, this is our mistake. This is our parents gave us phone for study, but as we are teenagers, then we get distracted. We are on the age that when we are distracted. But we don't know what is limited for us. We are teenagers. But when parents are educated, parents are not educated enough to open YouTube and watch YouTube. But they want us to study now.
Good question. All are very relevant questions, and we cannot deny the way you all are questioning. And the debate is going fantastically great. It is outstanding debate, and what I see, the most of you all are quite engaged in this debate. And this is what my objective was. Like, yes, sir, we are engaged in this.
Trying to convey that parents will give phone their child to study, and if child is studying, there are many apps which send notifications to distract students.
Notification option is off.
You should off their notifications.
What about ads?
You can skip ads. You play again the video, then app is displayed. After few minutes you watch the video. You buy the premium of this app. I want to tell that I am going to
told me that they first download that lecture or video that of internet, then they can use them without reflecting. I am saying that you can download that video, then after a while using internet you can see them. There will be no chance for you.
But some videos are not downloadable at YouTube. So what can I do?
You cannot download from YouTube, you can download from another website, or you can buy or exchange from your friends also. Other educational platforms like YouTube, there are no ads on that website you can check. There are
There are many apps for free lectures like Padle app.
Anyone ask any question? But any app that not run without internet.
I am saying to download that lecture with the internet. After opening the internet, you can see that.
But we have not enough internet to download the videos.
You cannot use Wi-Fi.
But we have not Wi-Fi. But we have not Wi-Fi. What we are doing?
That will be fast sometime. After some time it will get off.
बंद कर
It will get off after some time. It has a limit.
I'm not talking about that ads are unlimited. Ads are not bad for that. As to say that there are some betting ads and there are some betting that are some ads which promote betting. There are some ads which is not good for teenagers.
If you will go on that website, only then it will get you that ads.
Hotstar is not that app. They are also promoting betting apps.
Then what do you use it?
I use only education and see cricket.
You can use another app or another website.
You cannot use another website. You cannot use another website.
Why can't you use it?
So why are you saying?
Why can't you use another website?
Hotstar is not educational website, it is an entertainment website.
Why are you saying?
I don't think Hotstar is not a
So I think we should start our debate now, and it's your last period of the day, and you better go to your classes and attend the class. So it was a wonderful debate, very entertaining, very engaging, and participation and engagement was unprecedentedly, it was overwhelming, and it definitely exceeded my expectations. I was not expecting this level of participation, and following this debate. It was a very interesting debate. So I want to make few concluding remarks here. You cannot deny the fact that amount of unlimited, amount is the wrong word, unlimited information and knowledge available over internet. And that unlimited information and knowledge you can gain through social media and through smartphones. You cannot deny, no one can deny that fact. But at the same time, we cannot also deny the fact that it has started teenagers. So teenagers are getting addicted, they are getting misled to something that they should not be doing, and they have started doing, and we are having significantly higher number of bad examples and addiction examples of social media and smartphones. But at the same time, this is my philosophy of the life. Since the inception of the human civilization, good and bad both are integral parts of human civilization. You cannot live, you cannot expect a society. There is nothing called utopia. There is, in English, there is a word called utopia. There is nothing like utopian society in the world society. It is just illusion. Perfection is not reality. Perfection is mere illusion. So, keeping all these facts in mind, we cannot deny the importance, significance, and overwhelming knowledge that we are getting from internet, social media, and through smartphones. But at the same time, as I earlier said, we cannot deny the fact that it has started distracting our teenagers. So we need to reach to a balance between the kind of, we need to come up with a mechanism as an educational institution, as parents, they all shall work together in a way and to reach to a point where social media and smartphones shall be beneficial and can be used as a helping tool for teenagers rather than distracting tools. That's what my final remark. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. And we are going to have a final round of a debate for leftover students on next Saturday or whatever it is. We'll decide. Thank you very much. Thank you.